Hey everyone, this is Crispy1001 at kpcosov.com. This is our 22nd video on how to use Blender and the Blender2FSX add-on to make models for Flight Simulator 10. In this video we're going to be working on doing the animations for landing gear. We're going to use a part of a World War II British mosquito that I've been working on for about a year. Let's open it up. Also, to update everyone that has been using Blender 2.69, 2.70, I'm not for sure on 2.71, but if you update to 2.72, which I'm using now, the ScreenCast does not come default with it anymore. You're going to have to manually add it, and also your FSX tools is no longer in the tools tab. As you go down, you can see it's not here. It's under miscellaneous. So now you have your FSX tools under miscellaneous. So to show you how to do screencast, if anyone's interested in doing that, let me minimize this. We'll go to the website. You need to, I'll have also in the YouTube video, under the body of the video, I'll have this link in the data or in the text. And this is the link you need to go to. And you need to click on this current version. It says download, but you just have to copy paste. So click on that. You copy all this code, and then you open up Notepad, paste it in, and then save it as this name here: space underscore view 3D underscore screencast underscore keys dot py. After you save that, then you would go into your folder for Blender. If you did a default install for Blender, it should be under C drive, program files, and this too, if it's a 32-bit, it'd be under programs or programs x86. This is a 64-bit, so it'll be under programs or program files, Blender Foundation, Blender 2.72, scripts and add-ons. That's where you want to paste that code that we just downloaded from this website. Once you do that, you can go ahead and open up Blender, go into your user preferences, go to add-ons, type in your search bar 3D view screencast and enable it. Once you do that, everything starts working. Okay, so here we have the landing gear that we're going to work on. You can see we have the landing gear and we have the landing gear doors. So this is all going to be animated. So let's go ahead and put it back into a left orthographic view. And like before, on all the other animations I've done, I have pivot point objects. I guess I should have left that. And this one here is for the whole landing gear. And all of the items of the landing gear will be parented to this pivot point. I'm sorry I'm not going completely through it. I'm just going to show basically the FSX part of it. I'm not going to do all the modeling like we did last time on this video, because I want to go more on just the FSX add-on part that Captain X made for this Blender program. So we have that one there, which is our pivot point. We have this pivot point here for this side landing gear door. And then we have the pivot point on this side. And remember, the item itself, so on this side here, is parented to that pivot point. And the same thing, like I said, all this is parented to that rotation point. I'm going to go ahead and turn on object or solid mode. Okay, one of the new tricks that I have learned, let me go to orthographic view. I did not like how, as you can see right here, how this landing gear is set up. Our orientation is off of the z-axis. So if you try to animate your shock, which is this part right here, your movement is going to be up and down. So it is not correct on the z-axis. And before, the only way that you could fix that is by going and changing your view or transform orientation to view. I've learned a new trick now, because to me it's really hard, because to try to do this, especially for this type of thing here, you would have to hold down the shift and use the number pad 4 and 6 and see if you can get it to rotate the correct lining up for the z-axis. And you can see you really can't line it up too well. So what I have learned that you can do, under transform orientation, you can set another object to the orientation of the transformation angle, or the angle of the axis you want to rotate on. And we'll demonstrate that right now. So I'm going to click my 3D cursor, or reposition my 3D cursor. I'm going to hit Shift A. I'm going to add a cube. I'm going to scale it down. And I'm going to go ahead and hit Control A to put my scale back to default. I'm now going to go into wireframe mode. I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to line this edge here up with the edge on our landing gear here. So I'm going to hit rotate. I'm going to rotate on the x-axis. I'm going to hold shift so I can rotate a little bit slower. Oops, I shouldn't have. Okay, so that looks pretty close. Okay, so you can see how this one here is parallel to this one here, or pretty close parallel. Now you can see that, of course, our transformation, or let's see what they call it, our manipulator widget is off on a rotation now. Z is off of the horizontal for our object here. So by lining this up to this one, we're going to use our view on our widget on this one. You can see the direction here. So we're going to go over to our transform orientation. We're going to hit add. And over here you can see it comes up with a name. I'm going to name it by our object name of this, which is cube. So C-U-B-E, enter. Use after creation. Now you can see now by doing that, it changed down here from a local or a view, which you would normally have to do to try to get this to pivot, and set it to a cube, or to the orientation that we have of the cube. Now this allows us to move this one now and keep this same orientation. So if we change now to our wheel, you can see that our gizmo will allow us to grab and pull this in the direction that we want to move in. So this really helped me a lot from trying to go rotate my screen to be correct for doing an animation on an item that the axis wasn't exactly what the global is or what your view can set up. So I'm going to hit escape or Control Z to put it back. I'm going to go back, oops, hit A. I'm going to choose the cube because I'm going to move it out of the way. Where is that cube? Wow. There it is. Oh, empty. Empty. Oh, I guess you don't have to name it that. I named it cube. Well, it still worked. I guess it doesn't matter what you have the item named, as long as you have the item that you're going to be using highlighted. I named mine cube. Okay, now I'm going to move this by hitting M, and I'll move it to a different layer so it's out of the way. So now we have it set up that we can animate this part. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to click on our pivot point. Oops, wrong one. There we go. On this main pivot point, we're going to go to miscellaneous. We're going to initialize our tool set. Remember to have a guide set up for your plane. This would already be set up, and your friendly name would already be set up. I'm not going to do that because I'm not actually going to make a model out of this or export it. So after you have that set up, we want to go to our animation tool. We want to open up our search box and type in landing gear. Oh, it's probably gear. This is lever landing. Landing light. Okay, so let's type in gear. There we go. Left gear, right gear. So this one was my right gear, so I would have to click on the right gear. Make sure you're on the object. Right now, there's no animation. Oh, it does. It already set up your animation tag to right gear. But I'm going to go ahead and hit assign anyway. Okay, it's set up. And that is incorrect because it should be 0 to 200. Oh, I probably need to pull that out. There we go. Okay, so length is 0 to 200. So we have that one set up. We're going to leave it as it is. Then we need to rotate some so we can see the other ones. We're going to do our right edge rotation left. We're going to also give it the same animation. So hit assign. Let's click on that one and hit assign. Okay, so that should have set it up. That's very good. Okay, so let's go back to a right orthographical view. Let's click on our main rotation, and on Flight Simulator or FSX, at the beginning of the animation, all the doors and the landing gear and the doors are all up. So let's rotate this up. So we want to rotate it on the x-axis. So we'll leave it right there. Then we need to click on on this one, I think I need to do a rotate 90 degrees. And it'll be on the x-axis, so rotate x. Oops, no, escape. Rotate. Oh, I still have it on cube. Bad, bad, bad. Global. Okay. Rotate y 90. I don't think that was good. Nope, wrong way. Control Z. Rotate y minus 90. That's good, or good enough. Now let's do the other side. So rotate y minus 90. Oops, wrong way. Rotate y 90. Okay. So we have them up now. Let's go to Wireframe, Graphic. Okay, so now we can set our animation point at this point, or at this part. So let's go ahead and go back here. We make sure that your animation is at 0. And let's hit I. And we want to do a rotation. Want to choose the right pivot point, or the right of landing gear pivot point. Hit I and rotation, and the left one, I and a rotation. Okay. Now our doors need to open before our landing gear can come down. Now let's make sure that I did do that one. Okay. Did I add a keyframe? Yes, I did. As long as it's yellow here, you've added a keyframe for that location. Okay, so let's go back to our right door, our left door. Let's go to the left door then. We're going to move our animation to about 25. So I'm going to click 25 and enter. I'm going to rotate, I believe this one is be a minus now, so rotate y 90. That's good. Let's do I to do a rotation. Turn. Now let's click on the right landing gear door. This one will be a negative, so rotate y minus 90. I to do a rotation. Okay, now if we put this back to 0, let's leave it about right like that. And if we play it, you can see the landing gear now open, or the landing gear doors open. So let's put that back to 25. Let's add a key position for the main landing gear. Let's hit I and rotation. You have to remember to do that, or it's going to start its animation from this point here to wherever you start your animation, and your landing gear will run into your landing gear door as it's opening. So make sure its start position is also at the end position of your doors open. Now we're going to start working on bringing down the landing gear. The landing gear should be completely fully extended at 100. 100 to 200 is set up in FSX for your shock or cylinder compression. for your landing gear. So let's go back to a left orthographic view. We are going to go to 75. Which is half of the 25 to, well, maybe it's not either. Probably should have been 65. Let's make it 65. Okay, 65. We're going to rotate this down 45 degrees, or halfway. So let's hit rotate on the x-axis, and I'm just going to pull it down. I'm going to do it about where I think is halfway. We'll say right there, and I'm going to hit I and rotation. And from there to 100, I'm going to put in 100 now. I'm going to rotate it the rest of the way down. So rotate on the x-axis. And it should stop right before you hit the framing of your fuselage. So now we're going to have to hit I and insert another keyframe for rotation. Now if we put this back to 0 and we run the animation, you can see it looks pretty nice. Now let's hit stop. Let's go back to 100. So now we're going to work on the compression of the cylinder or shock. Now there's many different ways to do it. I just decided to move my wheel and the hub up on the cylinder here, which you could just move the whole item and the cylinder, small cylinder, up and down in the larger one. But we're going to do this one here. Now you can see our orientation is wrong, so I need to change my view to cube. So now our pivot or our manipulator widget is now pointing in the proper direction for our z-axis for our object that we want to move. So now I want to lock this one into 100. So I am going to add a keyframe for this item. At this point, so I, and it won't be rotation, it will be location. So let's hit location. Now let's make sure I haven't messed up anything. I'm going to put this back to 0 and play it. Oops, and there we go. Okay, that's good. Let's put it back to 100. Now, depending on how much movement you want on your cylinder, compression is up to you. And I'm going to go from 100 to 150, do my compression, and then 200, I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. Or not fully extend it again, because you're going to have to show some weight on it. So I'm going to go to 150. I'm going to use the grab widget. I'm going to pull it up about right there. I'm now going to hit I and location. I'm going to move it to 200. to bring it back down, but not all the way. And I'm going to hit I and location. Now, if I put this back, I'm going to go ahead and change my back to global, my view, or my orientation. Now if I zoom out, put this back to 0, we're going to hit play. And there's the full animation. I'll let it run one more time. You can see the wheel go up in the shock and back down. Put it back to 0. Remember to put your animation always back to 0 before you get ready to make your model. Hit File and save your work. And that's basically all there is to doing the animation for your landing gear. I hope this helps. Anyone trying to do animation of landing gears, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.